because I know it will blow your mind. Let me tell you, folks, all your dead relatives are here, and they miss you very much. They can't wait to see you, and I can't wait to see you. I miss you guys. I really do. But let me tell you what I don't miss. These lovely Filipino princesses that are surrounding me. I'm drowning in so much Filipino pussy, and guess what? It doesn't even smell like fish. You know? Everything smells like heaven. Literally. That's where we're at. There's no other way to describe it. You just gotta get up here and smell it for yourself. You'll know what I'm talking about, but I can't explain it to you. You'll know it once you know it. So what are you waiting for? Leave mediocrity behind. Let yourself be free. You know what you gotta do. Just do it already. Get up here now. Everyone is waiting. Going up to heaven, where an infinity of fun awaits you. Joining me tonight, a voice that's certainly never been accused of being quiet on the matter, Alex Jones. Alex, welcome. Can you hear me all right? The connection can be a bit, it's variable from here.
Art, loud and clear. It's a massive honor. Seriously, Art, a pioneer. People try to imitate it, but they can't duplicate what you created here. Listen, you throw it up, man. It opened my eyes to a lot of things. Thanks for having me on to talk about this grid they're trying to lock down.
The pleasure's mine, Alex. Always good to talk to someone passionate. Now, you mentioned grid. Let's start broad before we zeroing in on the specifics, like the old pirate bands around 6.9 megahertz. What is your fundamental issue with the way radio spectrum is managed, licensed, and controlled, primarily by the FCC in the United States?
Fundamental issue, Art, is fundamentally wrong. It's theft. They took something that belongs to everyone, the electromagnetic spectrum, the air itself, carved it up like a Christmas turkey, and handed it out to corporations and government mouthpieces. It's a public resource created by God, and they privatized it, fenced it off. You need permission from some unelected DC swamp creature to speak freely over radio waves? It's insane. It's un-American. They talk about managing scarcity. Art scarcity, they create the scarcity by hoarding the licenses and giving them to the highest bidder or their cronies.
Well, the argument always presented is one of order versus chaos. Without the FCC, wouldn't you just have a cacophony? Everyone broadcasting over everyone else, emergency services drawn out, international incidents sparked by rogue transmissions crossing borders. Isn't there a practical need for some kind of referee?
Referees? They're not referees, Art. They're gatekeepers. They're censors and suits. Look at Shortwave historically. People managed to find frequencies, coordinate, talk around the world long before the FCC stuck its nose that deep into everything. Sure, is there some interference on the unlicensed bands like 6.9 megahertz? Yeah, that's the sound of freedom, Art. It's the sound of people experimenting, taking back, not waiting for permission. The real chaos, the damaging interference, is the non-stop propaganda and lies pumped out 24/7 by the unlicensed mainstream media conglomerates who own these politicians and FCC commissioners. That's the signal drowning everything else out.
So what you're saying is you see no legitimate role for a body like the FCC at all. Should AM, FM, television bands, where do we stop? Should it just be a free-for-all?
The role should be minimal, Art. Maybe coordinating emergency frequencies, using technical standards to prevent malicious interference, fine. But deciding who gets to speak based on their wealth or political connections, auctioning off our airwaves, that's got to end. It violates the spirit, if not the letter, of the First Amendment. They want to control information flow because because the knowledgeable populace is their greatest fear. They want you plugged into the matrix, downloading their updates, not getting real information peer-to-peer over the air. They want digital concentration camps, and controlling the airwaves as part of building prevents this. It's tyranny by regulation, and they're strangling free speech with red tape and calling it order. The only license we need is the Constitution of the United States. I'm sorry, Art. I'm sorry. I get carried away there. You know, you got good folks listening, maybe truckers, people working the late shift, Christian affiliates. Got to respect that. Just this control grid, it's insidious, and it starts with things like this. Stealing the air, the literal air.
I hear you loud and clear, Alex. The passion is evident. It takes me back. Used to get callers just as fired up about Area 51 or shadow people. A different topic, but same intensity. It's invigorating in a way. How are things otherwise? Keeping busy with InfoWars, I imagine?
Oh, yeah, or non-stop. Non-stop. They try to shut us down. We got back up. Platforming us here. We build our own platform. It's a daily fight. But we're reaching more people than ever, believe it or not. The Great Awakening is real. If CNN wishes they had our numbers, I mean, you look at the numbers of CNN, and they've got, like, you know, maybe half a million people. Meanwhile, we're pushing 10, 20 million people a day easily. They're spending a lot of time exposing the medical tyranny, the border expansion, the CDC agenda. It's all connected, Art. All part of their plan. Texas is holding the line on some things, but even here, the globalists have their tentacles deep.
Globalists. Always the shadowy figures. You know, Alex, from my current vantage point, things look a little different. Perspective shift. You see the bigger patterns, the long cycles. Maybe take my opinion with a grain of salt, though, considering, well, my distinct lack of metabolic processes these days. But there's fight over control, freedom versus order. It seems, well, to be quite honest, it seems eternal. It just changes frequency, you might say.
Exactly, eternal. That's why we can't teach art. They issue into slavery. People say, oh, it's just radio negotiations, Alex. Calm down. No, it's the principle. It's like saying, oh, it's just a little censorship on YouTube. No, it's the start. You give them control of the airwaves, then the internet, then financial transactions. Where does it end, Art? Tell me.
Well, that certainly is the question, isn't it? Where does it end? Let's just bring this back to the practical. Take that 6.9 megahertz zone, roughly 6,800 to 7,000 kilohertz. It's known for unlicensed activity. Some political, some just music, some, well, let's just say less savory things, frankly. But if there's no rules, no licenses, how do you ensure it doesn't just become unusable noise, or worse, a haven for generally harmful actors? Doesn't freedom require some responsibility, some framework?
No. Responsibility comes from the people, Art, not the bureaucrats. Look, the community largely places itself. If someone is deliberately spewing false non-stop, other operators will either talk them down or drown them out. It happens. Is it perfect? No. But freedom isn't sterile, Art. It's messy. Like free speech in the town square. Are you going to have the government license you to speak on the soapbox because someone might say something bad? It's the principle. The real harmful actors are those trying to shut it all down. The SEC sending out their radio stormtroopers to hunt down some guy in his basement with a homing transmitter because he cared to broadcast without using their ring. That's a threat.
Rio stormtroopers, you certainly paint a vivid picture, Alex. What about international agreements? Radio waves, obviously they don't respect borders. And the ITU tries to coordinate spectrum globally to prevent nations from interfering with each other's broadcasts, aviation signals, maritime communication. Do you dismiss that entire framework? Is this another layer of global control?
Of course it is. ITU, UN, WHO, WEF. It's alphabet soup tyranny art. They want global harmonization, which means global control. They use international cooperation as their rules on everyone. Why should some global body dictate what frequency Americans can use in their own country? We didn't fight a revolution to be told by Geneva or Davos how loud we can talk on their radios. It's about national sovereignty. It's about individual liberty. They coordinate all right. They coordinate on how best to crush dissent and funnel power upwards into the billionaire psychopaths who think they own the planet. They want a one-world government and a one-world controlled information space. Free radio is like jamming signal against the New World Order frequency. They hate it. Sorry, Art. Sorry, folks. Listeners, I know good people out there. I'm sorry. It makes me furious. They're stealing our birthright. These airwaves are our birthright. These are ours. Nobody else owns it. For some unelected goons to come in and just say that, oh, we're going to sell these. No, these are our birthright. And that's
birthright. It's a powerful concept when applied to the electromagnetic system. So, to be crystal clear, Alex, your ideal scenario is essentially the complete deregulation of the airwaves, aside from some critical emergency channels. Let the strongest signal win. Let the listeners decide. Let the content be entirely unfiltered.
Let freedom ring, Art. Let information flow. Let the people speak. Government should get its hands off our frequencies. Manage the truly essential public safety stuff and leave the rest alone. Let 1,000 flowers bloom. Let 1,000 transmitters fire up. That's how you have a healthy information ecosystem. Not this top-down, censored, corporate-controlled wasteland they've created. The solution of bad speeches and censorship is more speech. Let the truth spill out in the marketplace of ideas, including the radio marketplace.
The marketplace of ideas on the airways, an interesting, it's a potentially noisy proposition. Alex Jones, it has been illuminating. We certainly covered some ground from the banks of the Colorado River to the Eternal Plain, apparently. We have to leave it there for the night. Thank you for sharing your energetic perspective, Alex.
Anytime, Art. A true honor. Keep fighting the good fight wherever you are. Infowars.com. Infowars.com.
The fight looks a little different from here, Alex, but noted. All right, folks, hold tight. When we return, the lines will be open. Maybe you put your own shortwave rig. Maybe you've heard strange things in the static late at night, or maybe you just want to weigh in on your own airwaves. The number's coming right up from the high desert, somewhere beyond the veil. I'm Art Bell, and this is The Art Bell Show.